The intergalactic council chamber shimmered like an ocean of stars, stretching impossibly wide beneath an expansive, transparent dome that revealed the swirling galaxies beyond. Countless alien species filled towering, elegant platforms, each race distinct, superior, and proud. The Zelnari Dominion, beings of luminous crystalline forms, held the highest perch, casting glimmers of disdain toward the representatives far below. Humanity stood apart, alone on a modest platform that hovered quietly near the chamber floor. They were newcomers, scarcely capable of traversing their own system before the council had begrudgingly extended an invitation. Yet now, here humanity stood, summoned like children called forth to prove themselves in front of giants. Captain. Adrian Cole watched silently, his storm-gray eyes reflecting the swirling nebulae above. He carried himself with a quiet dignity, shoulders squared beneath the dark blue uniform of Earth's United Naval Command. Though his face remained a mask of calm confidence, Cole felt the heavy weight of countless alien eyes filled with skepticism, amusement, even contempt. Beside him stood Ambassador Evelyn Hayes, her sharp green eyes scanning the assembly, carefully, measuring, evaluating. Her presence brought a different kind of strength, cunning and subtlety rather than brute force. She alone could navigate the diplomatic quicksand humanity found itself in, guiding them through the maze of alien politics where one misstep could doom their species forever. On a high platform, Commander Korvax of the Zelnari Dominion glared downward with cold superiority. His crystalline form radiated an aura of disdainful indifference, barely masking his contempt for humanity's very presence. "Primitive beings," he muttered in melodious tones to his entourage, his voice audible through translators provided by hovering drones. Why the Council wastes its time with such undeveloped creatures is beyond comprehension. Korvax, distinguished by the brilliant sapphire hue of his crystal structure, represented everything Cole and Hayes had prepared, against arrogance, underestimation, and rigid superiority. But beneath Korvax's condescending facade lurked ambition and ruthless strategy, traits that made him dangerously effective at marginalizing new entrants to the galactic stage. The murmurs in the vast chamber died suddenly as the chief speaker of the council, an elegant, towering being named Visrala, rose gracefully from her seat. Her long silver limbs extended gently, silencing all present. "Humanity," she began, her melodic voice echoing softly yet powerfully, "has petitioned recognition among us, the species who stride between stars. The Zelnari Dominion has challenged the humans to demonstrate their potential through an exhibition of military capability." Her voice grew firmer, carrying authority and weight. "This demonstration will determine humanity's place, whether as equals among the stars or forever relegated to insignificance." The silence thickened. Evelyn Hayes exhaled slowly, almost imperceptibly. The magnitude of the moment pressed upon them. Failure was unacceptable, yet victory seemed impossible. Humanity, after all, lacked the glittering plasma weaponry, antimatter, cannons, and shield technologies displayed by their competitors. "Are you ready to accept this challenge?" Visrala asked gently, tilting her head toward the human platform. Captain Cole took a single step forward, steadying his voice with practiced ease. "We are ready, Speaker." His simple affirmation drew amused ripples of laughter from the chamber, thinly disguised whispers of derision. Humanity's humility in this moment seemed naive at best, suicidal at worst. Commander Korvax leaned forward, his voice carrying a sharp edge of mocking curiosity. "Tell me, Captain Cole, you humans lack even rudimentary shields or energy, manipulation technology. How exactly do you plan to impress us?" Cole turned his gaze upward, meeting Korvax's glittering stare without blinking. "In our experience, Commander, it's the things you underestimate that end up impressing you the most." Korvax's crystal body flashed briefly, amusement, disbelief, or perhaps irritation. Very well, he finally said, leaning back, casually. Show us your best weapon, humans. If it impresses us, you shall gain our acknowledgement. As the Council announced the beginning of the Galactic military exhibition, other species quickly began preparations. Alien ships displayed dazzling feats of engineering, filling the Council chambers with powerful demonstrations of destruction. The glittering spectacle ranged from devastating antimatter strikes to awe-inspiring bursts of plasma energy that seared space itself. Humans, however, quietly wheeled out their own humble-looking device onto the demonstration platform. A sleek metal construction on simple hydraulic legs, its barrel plain and unadorned. Its design drew scornful whispers throughout the chamber. Condescending chuckles carried over translator drones. A kinetic weapon, Korvax mused, laughing softly. What a primitive and utterly predictable choice. Ambassador Hayes's voice was smooth, unreadable. It is our demonstration. Commander, perhaps you should watch first before you judge. Without fanfare or dramatics, Captain Cole signaled the human technicians to fire. The weapon, an experimental railgun, hummed softly, magnetic coils accelerating a tungsten projectile to staggering velocity. With a subtle flash, the projectile vanished into the vast emptiness of space, seemingly missing the target completely. The audience erupted into mocking laughter. Pathetic, murmured a voice nearby. Did they really expect us to be impressed by a projectile launched into oblivion? Commander Korvax's voice resonated openly through the chamber now. Is that your demonstration, Captain Cole? Perhaps your species is even more primitive than we first imagined. Captain Cole stood unflinching, eyes fixed on something. Distant, something no one else saw. He calmly checked his chronometer, unaffected by the mockery washing around him. Ambassador Hayes held her composure, though beneath the surface she felt the tension rising. Korvax turned to the council speaker, shaking his head in exaggerated disappointment. Clearly, humanity has misunderstood the magnitude of this demonstration. Cole's voice broke the derision like steel slicing silk. Commander Korvax, perhaps patience is not a virtue among the Zelnari. A hush fell across the chamber. Korvax stiffened, crystalline form pulsing with irritation. Explain yourself, Captain. You judged too quickly, Cole replied, gesturing toward the holographic displays surrounding the chamber. On cue, Council technicians suddenly shouted in alarm, pointing to long-range sensors and star maps. The tungsten slug, thought Lost, had precisely entered a calculated trajectory through space. It sailed effortlessly around the system's gravity wells, now looping inexorably back toward the exhibition zone. Impossible, Korvax hissed. Very possible, Ambassador Hayes smiled faintly. While you rely on brute force, we rely on physics and mathematics. Our weapons may be primitive, but our strategy is not. Before anyone could react, the railgun projectile hurtled into view, slamming directly into the massive asteroid floating beyond the exhibition field. The kinetic impact shattered the asteroid instantly, sending a shockwave rippling through space and violently shaking the Council's observational shields. Stunned silence filled the chamber. Alien dignitaries watched, mouths agape, as debris from the shattered asteroid scattered harmlessly into the void. Commander Korvax's crystalline form dimmed in shock, his aura momentarily subdued. Cole's calm, confident voice cut through the stunned silence, echoing softly but clearly. Never underestimate simplicity, Commander. Complexity often blinds us from what truly matters: precision, timing, and strategy. Ambassador Hayes smiled faintly, whispering just loud enough for the stunned aliens to hear. Welcome to humanity's table. A newfound tension rippled across the vast chamber. The primitive species had demonstrated something frighteningly simple, devastatingly effective, and utterly unexpected. Commander Korvax, rigid and silent, finally turned back to the humans, crystal form shimmering nervously. For the first time, uncertainty flickered through his proud gaze. Captain Adrian Cole simply stood firm, eyes forward, posture relaxed. He knew the true demonstration had just begun. The Grand Hall of the Intergalactic Council fell silent as Visrala signaled the official beginning of the Galactic military exhibition. Each species had eagerly awaited their moment to impress, demonstrate superiority, and secure a prestigious place among the galaxy's elite. For the Zelnari Dominion, represented by the imposing Commander Korvax, the event was little more than an exercise in vanity, another demonstration of their assured dominance. For humanity, represented by Captain Adrian Cole and Ambassador Evelyn Hayes, it was a trial that might determine their civilization's very fate. First to step forward were the Zephyr Syndicate, creatures armored in glossy black carapaces, known throughout the galaxy for their technological ruthlessness. Their demonstration began spectacularly. A sleek, beetle-like warship drifted into the designated zone, and moments later a vivid beam of crimson plasma erupted from its forward cannon, instantly vaporizing a targeted moonlet, reducing it to molten slag and cosmic dust. The crowd erupted in applause as the syndicate delegates took their bows with quiet confidence. Next, the Luminary Collective showcased their elegantly precise laser arrays. Glittering beams danced like threads of starlight, weaving intricate patterns through a distant asteroid field. Each pinpoint strike was perfectly calculated, leaving nothing but smoldering fragments behind. The audience murmured their admiration. Humanity observed quietly, absorbing each demonstration without reaction. Then came the Zelnari Dominion's turn. Commander Korvax stood proudly on the viewing platform, his crystalline body shimmering brilliantly. A colossal battleship, gleaming with impossible grace, maneuvered into position. With a casual gesture from Korvax, an antimatter missile slipped silently into the void. Moments later, a distant moon erupted in blinding fury, shattered effortlessly into a cosmic spray of particles. Applause filled the hall, pride radiating from Korvax as he turned his gaze toward humanity's modest delegation. How unfortunate, Korvax murmured loud enough for Captain Adrian Cole to hear. It seems we have set expectations too high for your primitive minds. Scattered chuckles spread among the aliens. Ambassador Evelyn Hayes raised a single eyebrow, maintaining perfect composure. "We appreciate your concern, Commander," she said calmly, her voice carrying an icy politeness. "But I assure you, we're prepared." Captain Cole, seemingly indifferent to the insults, nodded respectfully. Yet beneath his calm demeanor lay a quiet, simmering intensity. Evelyn knew him well enough to recognize the subtle shifts in his posture, the tightening jaw, the brief narrowing of his gaze. Cole was planning, calculating every angle, every possibility. And though the other species saw only weakness, Ambassador Hayes felt confident something else entirely was underway. At last, it was humanity's moment. Whispers spread rapidly across the chamber as the human delegation prepared their demonstration. What weapon could these insignificant newcomers possibly offer against the impressive displays they'd witnessed? Two technicians rolled a metallic structure into view. It was unimpressive, plain gray alloy, rugged and angular, without sleek curves or glowing energy coils. The audience leaned forward curiously as the platform settled into place. This was humanity's champion weapon, a railgun, its barrel sleek but unspectacular, its body a stark testament to function over form. Commander Korvax chuckled audibly. "A kinetic weapon," he said, amusement coloring his tone. "Truly barbaric." Beside him, other alien delegates laughed openly, their disdain thick. "Primitive warfare," mocked a Luminary representative nearby, her voice ringing melodically with disbelief. "Do humans truly think they can stand alongside us with mere metal projectiles?" Captain Cole remained stone-faced, giving no hint of anger or embarrassment. His eyes, sharp as polished steel, carefully studied the tactical. Holograms floating before him, recalculating trajectories, velocities, and orbital vectors. Beside him, Ambassador Evelyn Hayes allowed herself the barest smile. They underestimated humanity, exactly as planned. Without ceremony, Captain Cole gave the order. With a low hum, the railgun's electromagnetic coils powered up, energy building, silently before discharging a single tungsten projectile. The slug vanished almost instantly from visual detection, leaving nothing but an empty trail of ionized particles behind it. Observers waited eagerly for an explosion, a flash of energy, or any visible sign of destructive power. Nothing happened. Confusion quickly turned to mocking laughter, sweeping across the chamber like a tidal wave. Korvax's crystalline form vibrated softly, laughter echoing melodically through translator drones. "A remarkable display indeed," he exclaimed. "You have successfully fired a tiny lump of metal into nothingness. Truly, a marvel of primitive warfare." Nearby, another alien delegate, a sleek serpentine creature named Yira, representing the Celtari Concordance, tilted her slender head in amusement. Perhaps humanity misunderstood the assignment? More laughter erupted. Yet amidst the ridicule, Captain Cole's expression remained unchanged, betraying nothing. He calmly checked the time once more, a gesture noticed only by Ambassador Hayes. Her pulse quickened. She knew Cole too well to mistake this calmness for resignation. The captain was playing a deeper game, one the arrogant observers failed to comprehend. Korvax's amusement faded into irritation at the human's apparent lack of shame. "Tell me, Captain," he finally asked, leaning forward, crystal facets glinting with mockery. "Is this display complete, or do humans always demonstrate failure as their best performance?" Captain Cole raised his eyes slowly, meeting Korvax's mocking gaze without flinching. "Wait." The single word cut through the noise with unexpected gravity. The amused chatter ceased, replaced by a confused silence. Aliens exchanged puzzled glances, seeking explanation. Yet none was forthcoming. Humanity had nothing more to offer, apparently. Evelyn leaned toward Cole, whispering under her breath, "You're enjoying this far too much." Cole didn't smile, but amusement flickered briefly across his eyes. "Patience, Ambassador. Precision takes time." Suddenly, frantic chatter erupted among the Council's monitoring technicians. Holographic displays flashed red, alarms signaling something unprecedented. Confusion spread rapidly through the audience as heads turned toward the displays, eyes widening in shock. Commander Korvax's arrogant amusement faltered. "What's happening?" he demanded sharply. Visrala, the council speaker, stood swiftly. "A projectile is re-entering. Our sensors, velocity Mach 25, origin coordinates." Her voice trailed off, confusion evident. "It's the human projectile." Every eye turned toward the distant screens. Humanity's tungsten slug, seemingly lost and forgotten, reappeared, streaking toward an asteroid field on the far perimeter of the demonstration zone. Sensors desperately recalculated its trajectory, revealing frighteningly precise calculations. Humanity had deliberately missed the visible target, aiming instead at something far more distant, hidden behind orbital shadows. In stunned silence, the aliens watched as the projectile, accelerated to sub-relativistic speed, impacted the asteroid precisely where humanity had secretly intended. The asteroid disintegrated instantly, exploding into an incandescent fireball that illuminated the blackness of space. The chamber's shields trembled under the shockwave, debris vaporized in spectacular plumes of molten rock and dust. The laughter had vanished entirely. Captain Cole met Korvax's eyes once more, voice steady and firm. "Barbaric?" he asked, softly. "Primitive warfare?" The chamber hung on every word. "You measure strength by spectacle," Cole continued quietly. "But humanity measures it by effectiveness. One projectile, strategically placed, can change a war. You underestimated us. I hope you'll reconsider." Commander Korvax struggled visibly to mask his embarrassment, crystalline body flickering uncertainly. Ambassador Hayes allowed a satisfied smile to cross her lips. It was humanity's first true victory, not born from force alone, but from a deeper, subtler form of power. Yet, even as the hall echoed with murmurs of newfound respect and awe, Evelyn sensed something more lurking beneath. Captain Cole's strategic move was not simply about impressing the Council. It had been a careful demonstration of humanity's capability, a calculated feint that hinted at greater threats yet to come. Humanity, she realized suddenly, had deliberately revealed only the smallest fraction of its real strength. The railgun demonstration was just the first move on a much grander chessboard. Commander Korvax, for the first time, seemed uncertain, his crystal blue light flickering with apprehension. Yet arrogance still dominated his tone as he finally replied, forcing false bravado into his words. "An interesting trick," he admitted reluctantly. "But one clever move doesn't place humanity as equals among the stars." Captain Cole didn't respond immediately, his silence itself a statement. Evelyn, standing beside him, knew exactly what his silence meant. Humanity had only just begun to reveal its hand. The aliens had seen humanity's first demonstration, yet they had no idea what truly lay beneath humanity's quiet confidence. What terrifying potential still waited patiently in the shadows. Hours crawled by as the Council deliberated, whispers of skepticism and hushed mockery trickling from platform to platform. Captain Adrian Cole stood silently, watching the swirling galaxies overhead through the great glass dome, patiently waiting for the inevitable moment. Ambassador Evelyn Hayes stood beside him, her fingers calmly interlaced, maintaining diplomatic composure even as alien eyes lingered upon them in a mix of ridicule and amusement. Commander Korvax had long ceased paying attention to humanity's delegation. The Zelnari leader exchanged pleasantries with allies, basking confidently in humanity's apparent humiliation. The sleek elegance of alien vessels drifting beyond the dome reminded the assembly just how superior they believed themselves to be. Their ships gleamed in polished alloys, humming gently with exotic energies, each craft a testament to advanced engineering. And yet humanity, by contrast, appeared hopelessly outdated with a mere kinetic projectile that had seemingly vanished uselessly into the abyss. It was then that the chamber erupted in sudden alarm. Technician screens blazed urgently red, alien voices rising in a rapid, frightened cacophony. Viscerala rose swiftly, her silver limbs tense as she addressed the chaos unfolding below. "Identify." "The disturbance immediately!" One technician, visibly shaken, replied sharply. "Incoming projectile, Mach 25. Trajectory originating from humanity's weapon." Silence gripped the hall once more, sharp and fearful this time. All eyes turned toward Captain Adrian Cole, whose calm expression now held a faint hint of triumph. He remained silent, hands clasped calmly behind his back, allowing the scene to unfold. Far beyond the dome, a distant asteroid glowed softly beneath the starlight, an asteroid nearly 3 kilometers across, deemed indestructible by conventional measures. Now sensors tracked a tiny speck rapidly approaching, faster than anyone believed possible. The tungsten slug, launched earlier, presumed lost, had traversed the void, looped precisely around gravitational wells, and returned from an impossible angle, hurtling relentlessly toward its true target. Commander Korvax spun sharply, facing Captain Cole. "What have you done?" he demanded, voice laced with shock. Cole didn't respond immediately, only inclined his head slightly toward the viewing dome. Ambassador Evelyn Hayes allowed a slight, victorious smile to cross her lips. "Just watch," she murmured softly, in a blinding instant, the railgun projectile impacted the asteroid. The sheer kinetic force released energy equal to a high-yield thermonuclear device. The asteroid exploded violently, erupting outward in a fiery blossom visible from every viewpoint. In the chamber, the blast wave cascaded through space, rattling the chamber's shields, vibrating platforms, and shaking even the proud Zelnari where they stood. The council chamber descended into stunned silence, broken only by urgent beeping from overwhelmed instruments recalibrating frantically. Alien ambassadors gazed wide-eyed, speechless. No energy weapon displayed earlier, not plasma cannons, antimatter bombs, nor lasers, had produced such catastrophic devastation from so humble a source. Cole turned calmly, addressing the stunned assembly. His voice carried quiet authority. "We don't need fancy energy weapons. We don't fight for spectacle. We fight to win." The silence thickened. Commander Korvax's crystalline form vibrated erratically with disbelief and suppressed rage. This primitive railgun had just shattered their arrogant certainty. Evelyn studied Korvax carefully, reading the confusion rippling across his alien features. The Zelnari commander suddenly grasped what humanity had subtly demonstrated. Superiority was not measured by spectacle alone. Evelyn spoke, her tone diplomatically mild yet unmistakably pointed. "Energy weapons require immense power sources, shields, recharge cycles, limitations we've overcome. Our railgun needs power only once. After firing, momentum takes care of the rest, for eternity if necessary. It can reach you from across. Star systems, timed perfectly. Warfare isn't always about spectacle. Sometimes, simplicity is the greatest threat." Commander Korvax's crystalline form pulsed erratically, betraying a rare loss of composure. The crystalline being whispered furiously to aides, recalculating his previous arrogance. Humanity was not merely primitive, they were dangerously efficient, strategically lethal in ways the Council had never considered. Yet before Korvax could respond, alarms wailed again. This time the threat was immediate, real, and deadly. Explosions rippled along the outer perimeter of the Council's vast station. Security drones scattered, desperately responding to attacks from dark vessels bearing Zephyr Syndicate markings. The enemy fleet had seized their moment, timing their strike perfectly in the confusion following humanity's stunning demonstration. Fighters swarmed like locusts, slamming through perimeter defenses with shocking brutality. "Betrayal!" Visrala shouted, her voice trembling with fury. "The Zephyr Syndicate is attacking!" Panic spread quickly. Alien dignitaries rushed toward secure areas as security forces scrambled to contain the sudden violence. Amidst the chaos, Captain Cole and Ambassador Hayes exchanged calm glances, their expressions conveying silent understanding. This threat had not been unforeseen. Cole's strategic mind had already accounted for countless eventualities. Yet, one figure remained frozen, visibly shaken, Commander Korvax, isolated from his security detail, targeted specifically by Zephyr assassins swiftly approaching. Cole hesitated only briefly, the strategic calculus already completed within moments. "Ambassador," Cole said firmly, stepping forward, "you're with me." The humans surged forward, positioning themselves deliberately between Korvax and the incoming Zephyr attackers. Cole smoothly drew his sidearm, firing rapidly, precisely, and without hesitation, neutralizing two attackers instantly. Ambassador Hayes stood ready beside him, expertly managing communication channels as the Zephyr pressed their ruthless assault. Commander Korvax hesitated, stunned at the sudden shift in allegiance. "Humans!" he protested, confusion mingling with frustration. "What are you doing?" Captain Cole met Korvax's confused gaze calmly. "Saving your life," he answered bluntly. "Or would you prefer to die to creatures who actually deserve your contempt?" The commander's crystalline form flickered indecisively. Then, understanding the necessity of survival, Korvax fell into formation with humanity's defenders. For the first time, the arrogant alien leader found himself forced to stand shoulder to shoulder with the beings he had dismissed only moments before. Evelyn fought fiercely alongside Cole, demonstrating a resolve and competence that astounded even the Zelnari commander. The human ambassador's actions spoke clearly, a subtle rebuke to alien arrogance. The primitive species had not only strategic brilliance, but also the courage to act decisively in moments of crisis. Amidst flashes of enemy fire and explosions echoing violently around them, Cole's tactical orders rapidly turned the tide. Humanity's delegation, previously mocked, now stood as an immovable wall of discipline and strategic precision, guiding terrified aliens to safety, holding the line against Zephyr assassins until Council security forces could regain their footing. The Zephyr attackers retreated, forced back by unexpected resistance. Captain Cole glanced sideways at Commander Korvax. The proud Zelnari stood shaken, crystal form dulled by humiliation and disbelief, realizing his people's arrogance had nearly cost him his life. Captain Adrian Cole spoke quietly, firm and clear. "Next time you underestimate us, remember this moment. Power isn't always measured by weapons. It's measured by adaptability, calculation, and resolve." Commander Korvax, once unshakably arrogant, now nodded slowly. He said nothing further, but his silence spoke clearly enough. He finally understood the strength hidden beneath humanity's simplicity. As silence reclaimed the damaged chambers, Ambassador Evelyn Hayes offered Captain Cole a faint, knowing smile. Humanity had demonstrated a force far more powerful than even the Railgun's destruction. Strategic genius combined with unmatched courage. The Intergalactic Council, for the first time, recognized humanity not as primitive newcomers, but as formidable allies, terrifyingly capable, and dangerously underestimated. Chaos erupted across the council chambers as the Zyphar fleet continued their brutal assault, taking advantage of the confusion following humanity's railgun demonstration. The sky beyond the transparent dome flickered, with streaks of crimson and electric blue energy, bolts ripping into the protective energy shields with devastating accuracy. Alien dignitaries scattered, desperately fleeing toward protected bunkers, their once confident composure dissolving into panic and fear. Council defense systems, reliant on energy shielding and elegant precision, struggled against the Ziphar's raw firepower. The attackers moved methodically, systematically stripping away the elaborate layers of shields that had once seemed invincible. Platforms trembled and flickered, delicate crystalline structures shattering under repeated impacts, revealing a harsh truth. The galaxy's elite had grown complacent in their technological supremacy. Only humanity remained unshaken. Captain Adrian Cole and Ambassador Evelyn Hayes, standing side by side with a visibly humbled Commander Korvax, watched the destruction unfold calmly. Evelyn's sharp gaze tracked the attacking fleet's tactical patterns, while Cole spoke, steadily into his communicator, orchestrating a response born from calculated preparation. Cole looked at Korvax, his voice carrying clear authority. "Commander, rally your fleet immediately. We'll provide the firepower if your ships can." "Hold formation." Korvax hesitated briefly, pride battling practicality within his crystalline form. Yet, seeing the carnage unfolding, the Zelnari leader finally nodded, forced to yield his pride for survival. "You shall have our cooperation," he replied stiffly, voice heavy with reluctant respect. Captain Cole immediately signaled Earth's naval fleet, hidden just beyond visual detection. "Human fleet, execute formation Omega, railguns to maximum velocity, kinetic bombardment authorized, fire at will." In response, the darkness beyond the Council's orbital platform exploded into coordinated action. Humanity's fleet surged forward from their concealed positions, sleek yet armored vessels positioned expertly to intercept the Zyphar assault. Rather than shimmering shields, Earth's ships were coated in layers of reinforced alloy armor, reflecting human pragmatism, a willingness to absorb hits rather than futilely attempt to deflect them. "They rely on shields," Evelyn murmured softly, appreciating the disciplined beauty of the human fleet's approach. "We rely on armor." Zyphar commanders adjusted quickly, pivoting to target the newcomers, unleashing cascades of fiery plasma and beams of concentrated antimatter. Impacts tore at humanity's ships, armor glowing fiercely under sustained assault, but holding firm. Ship captains calmly redirected energy toward magnetic accelerators, railguns humming with escalating power. "Fire," Cole ordered, voice unwavering. In unison, dozens of railguns discharged, launching tungsten slugs through the void at velocities incomprehensible to the aliens. Silent and invisible to conventional sensors, the kinetic projectiles found their targets precisely. Zyphar warships exploded violently, their delicate energy shields useless against brute kinetic force. The attacking fleet hesitated briefly, uncertain of what had suddenly struck them. Korvax stared in awe. Never before had he seen such calculated lethality, delivered without spectacle or ceremony. The primitive humans had once again proven terrifyingly efficient, and the once arrogant Zelnari commander now stood humbled by their decisive effectiveness. Yet humanity was not finished. Evelyn's voice cut clearly across all communication channels. Prepare Maneuver Sigma 12. Gravitational slingshot protocol engaged. Far beyond the battlefield, unseen to Zifar sensors, several tungsten slugs fired earlier entered gravitational wells around distant planets, curving sharply. Along precise orbital trajectories, Captain Cole watched calmly as Evelyn monitored their calculated returns, counting silently beneath her breath. Impact in 3, 2, 1. The Zifar flagship never saw its annihilation coming. Kinetic rounds, accelerating from planetary, slingshots at unimaginable velocities, pierced through Zifar shields like paper, punching straight through hulls, engines, and reactor cores. Explosions rippled across the attacker's fleet, cascading into catastrophic chain reactions, leaving behind clouds of shimmering debris. Commander Korvax stood frozen, his crystalline form dimming further as he witnessed humanity's ultimate demonstration of tactical supremacy. Captain Cole allowed a thin, satisfied smile to cross his lips as he addressed the stunned Zelnari leader. "You asked for a demonstration, Commander. Consider this our answer." Silence fell as the Zifar fleet disintegrated, their scattered remnants retreating desperately toward hyperspace gates. In the calm afterward, humanity's vessels hung motionless in victory, armor scarred yet unbroken, symbols of resilience amid alien wreckage. Within the council chamber, alien ambassadors emerged cautiously from their shelters, eyes wide with newfound respect and fear. Evelyn Hayes straightened proudly, watching as Captain Cole, without arrogance, turned to face the assembly that had previously dismissed humanity's potential. Vizarala, the silver-limbed council speaker, stepped forward, her usually composed voice trembling slightly. "Captain Cole, Ambassador Hayes, the Council has witnessed your demonstration. Your weapons, and more importantly, your strategy, have spoken clearly. Humanity has earned recognition among us." Murmurs of agreement filled the vast chamber, aliens from countless worlds now viewing humanity through new eyes, eyes filled with reluctant admiration and wary respect. Commander Korvax, humbled and quiet, approached Captain Cole slowly. For the first time, his voice was without arrogance, resonating instead with genuine acknowledgement. "Captain, my people believe themselves masters of warfare, unparalleled in their technology and intellect. You have shown us how deeply mistaken we were." Cole regarded Korvax calmly, offering neither triumph nor mockery. "Commander, technology alone does not define strength. War is won by minds, not weapons alone." Korvax inclined his head respectfully, the subtle gesture speaking volumes. The Zelnari had not merely lost their arrogance, they had gained humility through painful revelation. As ambassadors and representatives whispered excitedly, in the A, speaker raised her silvery limbs once more, addressing all assembled. "Henceforth, humanity will be offered a permanent seat on the Intergalactic Council. May their insight and strategic wisdom guide us in the darkness between stars." Evelyn Hayes smiled, sharing a knowing glance with Cole. Humanity had played the long game expertly, concealing their true strength behind a facade of humility and apparent simplicity. The aliens, blinded by arrogance, had learned a harsh lesson about underestimating seemingly primitive technology. As the chamber slowly emptied, Captain Adrian Cole and Ambassador Evelyn Hayes stood silently, watching the swirling cosmos beyond the shattered observation dome. Stars glittered brightly, distant suns reminding them of Earth's newfound place among civilizations that had once considered humanity insignificant. Korvax paused one final time before leaving, crystalline form glowing gently with reluctant admiration. I once believed humanity primitive, he admitted quietly, voice barely audible over the chamber's lingering hum. Now, I fear your potential. Cole inclined his head slightly, expression unreadable. Fear is unnecessary, Commander. Respect will suffice. As the alien delegation departed, Ambassador Hayes turned to Cole, eyes bright with satisfaction. Do you think they finally understand? Cole smiled faintly, looking beyond the stars toward Earth's distant blue glow. They understand enough, he replied quietly. They thought we were primitive. Now they fear us. Far beyond the Council station, humanity's fleet hovered, engines glowing faintly against the endless darkness. Their railguns, simple, elegant, and devastating, had rewritten galactic warfare in mere moments. Across countless worlds, strategic advisors and military planners urgently revised their battle doctrines, humbled by humanity's simple yet devastating ingenuity. The Intergalactic Council soon broadcast news of the battle, recognizing humanity publicly as both strategic masterminds and fierce protectors, no longer primitive newcomers, but powerful, unpredictable allies. On Earth, crowds celebrated, pride surging at their species' ascension to galactic prominence. Humanity had emerged from the shadows, cunning, dangerous, and infinitely capable. Captain Cole and Ambassador Hayes returned to Earth as heroes, yet neither sought fame or glory. Their victory, strategic and absolute, required no further acclaim. For humanity, respect among the stars was more valuable than spectacle, more meaningful than empty applause. In quiet corners of alien embassies, the whispered truth spread rapidly. The primitive species had never been primitive at all. Humanity had simply chosen to wait patiently, hiding their strength until precisely the right moment. As humanity embraced its new role within the galaxy's delicate balance of power, their smirks conveyed quiet confidence. They had never truly been the underdogs. Their rise had been inevitable from the start. Now every civilization knew the truth. They thought we were primitive, Captain Cole whispered softly, watching Earth's dawn breaking gloriously upon the horizon. Now they fear us. And in that realization, humanity's true victory lay secure, a species underestimated, now forever respected and feared.